Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at Slam Dunk Festival 2024, Funeral for a Friend on the lineup, and the vocal duties yesterday were done by the man next to me. It's Lucas Woodland. How are you, man?
Hello, I'm good, yeah. Crazy weekend.
Crazy weekend. We're going to start. You're just going to sit there and be embarrassed while I compliment you, all right? That's what's going to happen. Watch that set yesterday. Absolutely outrageous. I know it's big shoes to fill. I know how much that band means to you. You can be very, very, very proud of what you did yesterday, my friend. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. How are you feeling now? I mean, I'm sure you're still blurring through it, but 24 hours on or so, how are we feeling at the minute?
Yeah, I think, it's one of those things where it's like, I won't truly enjoy every moment until it's over, because then I know I've done my job. And I feel the same way when I tour, to be honest. I'll be 5.5 weeks into an America tour, and I'll still be like, I can enjoy this in 4 days' time when I've actually done it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But it's like, and that's kind of how I feel today, is like, the first two shows were amazing. Newport was amazing, especially because it was a new venue. Like I said on the mic, but I think it's really important to say, Funeral were the staple of the Welsh music scene before me. I've been fortunate enough to be in the center of the Welsh music scene now, I guess, and we opened a new venue kind of in Newport, you know, so it felt like the beginning of a new scene, hopefully, as well. And I think it was really full circle, but yeah, it's been great. Everybody's been lovely, so thanks for the kind words.
Of course, man.
But yeah, it's definitely been like you know, a cross to bear, you know, because like I want to make sure I'm doing right by the fans, you know, and I want to make sure that they're enjoying their favorite band. And all I am is a catalyst for that. But everybody seems to have enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really good fun time. Talk to me a little bit, I guess, about the prep, because on the one hand, these are not songs you necessarily had to learn, because you've lived with them for a very, very long time. But I'm just curious as to when you get the call and it gets a bit real and you know that rehearsals are starting, all that stuff, what is that preparation like for you, knowing you're going into something like this?
I think people honestly would drastically underestimate fronting a band they love, because you probably have some of the words wrong. You probably think the guitar parts are catchier in a certain verse than maybe the vocal melodies. Like, I could air guitar a whole Funeral set, no question. But like for me, it was like, now I need to actually pay attention, you know, pay critical attention to the vocals. Right? So yeah, you're right. I grew up with these songs, and I love so many of them, but like, I didn't know the words, or I didn't know every single melody. And like, the other thing as well is like, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to be a vessel for everybody to enjoy this band. So it's like, I kind of can't step an inch out of place, because the crowd will let me know. You know, like yesterday, you know, even little menial things like, you know, I can't feel this way, I can't feel the same about you anymore. I think I like said it the wrong way around or something, and I could feel the crowd was saying this way when I was saying the same, and it felt like, oh, like, sorry, you know. But it's like, when you've got, you know, thousands of people singing back at you, it's obvious when you're wrong, you know?
Do you know what, though? That's what I think made it so special, was the fact that, obviously, like I say, you were doing a good job. I'm going to keep complimenting you. I want you to be that embarrassed. You deserve it. But it felt like almost karaoke en masse. Like, from note one, every single person in that crowd was singing at the top of their lungs. And that was just such a cool thing to see. Because it's also like, you must have felt that, not just for yourself, but for the boys as well, they wanted it to succeed. The crowd was on your side from day one, you know what I mean?
Cool, yeah, and that's what I think, you know, I think it's funny, because I don't want to be too, like, defeatist, but like, I think the crowd are on your side until they're not.
Well, sure.
You know, so it's like, everyone was hoping. I think it was more like everyone was hoping more than everybody wanted it to succeed. Everybody's hoping it would succeed, you know? And I think then, you know, a song or two in, I think everybody's like, you know, let's just not worry about it failing, because it seems to be going well. And then it becomes a thing, you know? But it's like, you're right though, karaoke en masse is a good way of putting it, because I said this to Funeral with, it's funny being in a room with people you've grown up listening to, and then like almost giving them your outside opinion of their band, and being like, as a fan, I think this, you know. And I said to them, you probably remember the Slam Dunk they played 2 years ago, I think, or three. Actually, I think it was 3 years ago.
It was it was a couple of years back.
The talk of the festival was how loud their crowd was. That was all anyone would speak about, was like, oh my God, did you see how loud the crowd sang for Funeral? So I know that they're out there, and I know they want to sing. So yeah, you're right. You know, every now and then I'll give them a whole line of a chorus, because it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, you know. So,
it's got to be lovely for the guys as well to have someone like yourself come in who, like you say, has been a long time fan, because a different perspective if nothing else. Like it's got to be nice to like enter that bubble a little bit and be like, by the way, just as someone who's loved you guys for a while, I'd love to hear this or that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Funeral is an interesting band because, you know, for example, with Holden Absence, it feels like we've gone through so many versions of our band in 5 or 6 years, you know, whereas with Funeral it's been 20 years, you know, so it's like, you know, they and I kind of love it actually, is like Darren left, Ryan left, like the only person on this stage actually who hasn't come or gone is Chris, the guitarist, right? So it's like they've been a very fluid band over the years, you know, like Gav and Boosh were new guys once upon a time, and I think it's nice because like I think they've welcomed me the same way they probably welcomed those guys the first time, or the same way they've welcomed Darren and Ryan back into the fold. So it feels just like a very welcoming, fluid kind of lineup. And like you said though, like I've got a different perspective as well, so I feel like, you know, they're probably enjoying that aspect a little bit as well.
It's so nice to see, man. No, congrats on that for sure. Let's talk Holding Absence, shall we? Because speaking of big Welsh music moments, just a small gig this summer.
I know,
just a little gig outside. So much. I love that you're doing it in a castle for a start. That's just such a great idea. But is that one that I mean, I guess just tell me about the planning of that, because it does seem like the right time to go, let's try something outside. Let's try
for sure, because like, you know, the industry is so hungry, you know, like when you think of, and when I say the industry, I actually just mean as far as being consumers of people who love music, our fans, and people behind the curtains who want to push us constantly. You know, everybody wants more all the time, and I think it's hard sometimes not to feel like you're being contrived, or you're just doing what you're told, or you're doing what is expected of you, if that makes sense. So people are like, we want more shows, right, on one side. So it's like, hell yeah, we want to facilitate that. And then, you know, the people who kind of matter behind the scenes are like, well, we want bigger shows. Like, we want you guys to grow. And it's like, like, how do we do both without it feeling like another show, you know, another show. And I think, like, for us, it was like, right, you know, this year we did the January tour, and we did the Pierce the Veil tour, and we're doing America with Sleeping with Sirens, and I think that's it, which is the quietest year we've had post-COVID. Because we did 9 months,
you
2
guys
years.
Have been non-stop.
Yeah, it's been
like
absurd,
fair play. You can take at least a little bit.
I think we played 250 shows in like the post-COVID 2 years, right? Man, so it's like absurd, But so now this year is actually about downtime, and it's about thinking about how we can kind of celebrate our band and, you know, explore our career, you know, in a way that is still fun but not contrived, you know. So we've got something really cool dropping in a couple days, I think. I maybe we don't speak about it now in case it doesn't drop in a couple days.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's something that we're really endeavoring to make fun for our fans, and just something cool that might not necessarily make us a load of money or anything like that, but it's more like what our fans get out of it, and we're making a real effort with that. And then same with the Castle show as well. You know, it's like, what's going to be cooler than seeing Holden Absence in a castle?
Absolutely.
You know? And we've got fans coming from everywhere, and you know, we're Welsh, like, and Wales is a small country in the UK, really, like culturally, globally, like maybe even our population is the smallest. So it's like, I think a lot of people don't truly understand Wales the way I wish they did. So knowing that German fans and, you know, like fucking people from Norway, people from, I think there's people from America coming, you know, like, knowing that they can come to Wales and maybe have a Welsh cake and watch a band in a castle, like, I love that. But yeah, I gotta say that one final thing, we were overwhelmed with, you know, how it was a 1,500 ticket show and it sold out in like less than an hour, basically. So it's like
it's
absurd,
amazing, man. Those special moments are always going to count. People are going to want to get on board and support that for sure. Mention the Pierce the Veil tour. We've got actually mentioned that. I remember years ago chatting with you, like, I can't remember what the context was, but we were talking about kind of dream venues and stuff.
Yeah.
And you immediately said that Cardiff Arena.
Yeah.
And now you've got to do on that Pierce the Veil. That must have felt like such a special evening.
It was absurd, man. Yeah. It still feels like a dream. I don't know. I'll wake up one day and I'll have been pinched and it'll all be over, and I'll understand that it was real, because it doesn't feel real. But it was amazing, you know. And like, I saw Pierce the Veil play to 200 people in Cardiff with the Collide the Sky album tour. So like that album's now like embroiled in, culture as one of the most important albums of our kind of scene. And I remember seeing them play to 200 people and then supporting them play to 7,000 people.
So amazing.
It was amazing. And also even things like our first CD had for fans of Pierce the Veil on the front cover of it, you know what I mean? So it was a really full circle thing.
Yeah, very, very special moment, that it really is. I'm going to do our standard festival question we've been asking everybody, Luke. I'm sure I've asked you at events before, but doing it again. Stack lineup. Who's the dream collab out of all the people that are here this weekend? Anyone you've not worked with, not toured with, that you think, oh God, I would actually really, really love to do something with them one day?
It's tough because you want to say what's sensible, but then you also want to say what you want to, what you actually feel.
We can go with the dream.
Frank Iero is my goat.
Yeah, of course. I should have picked that one immediately. Yeah.
Do you know as well? I haven't seen him at all this weekend, and I don't normally go up to people, but fingers crossed I see him, because like if I can go up to him and show him the Demolition Lovers tattoo, and then say,
he'd love it as well.
I'm singing for Fuel for a Friend tonight, by the way.
Oh,
you know that band that you toured with all those years ago?
Oh, he will absolutely love. No, you've got to go.
It would be the only time in my life I could be cool to that man.
I think he's top 5 of the nicest blokes in music, I think. So you should definitely go and say hello. No, that'd be really, really lovely.
Fingers crossed I get to meet him, but I love Frank so much. And also, La Dispute are one of my favorite bands ever. Oh my God. So I don't think it'd work, but I'd love to just...
Never know.
I love Jordan. I think he's amazing. So,
very, very cool choices. Very, very cool choices. I'm going to let you go get ready for this show, man. But again, congrats on everything. We will catch up on various Holding Absence things soon, I'm sure. And just all the best to you beforehand, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Lucas, everybody.
Bye.